everybody, I'm Tommy, and you are on the lifeboat. Hope you're having a good day. Let me see here. I don't know what the hell's going on here. I guess that's as big as I can get myself. Maybe that's all right anyway. So, do me a favor. If you've heard any good lies lately, put a deuce in the chat. And if you're hoping to hear me go full postal and act like a jackwagon, put a 3 in the chat. And while you're doing that, I'll say hi to some people. Thanks for that 5x5, my friend. Blessed Crochet, good to see you. Mary E. Barons-Oni, glad that you're here. Kristen Belinda, Magistrate. Lacey Silver, Emotional Support Canadian. Air Supply, what's happening? Bill Herrera, me and my cat. DS Kitty, good to see you. I'm glad that you're here. Blessed to Crochet, Puka Vista, Gary Mackey, Barbara Aldridge, Amy, Sir Tedrick Walker, me and my cat. Hey, Meredith Lynn, how you been? Huh? Doing all right? Jane Aldrich, glad you're here. Pam Moreau, how are you? Unicorn Love, wow, cool guy. John, what's up, man? Barbara Aldridge, Jeremy Fowler, My Own Eyes and Ears. Hey, Charlie freaking Murphy, man. Rock star that he is. What's happening, Charlie? Dee Razzle Dazzle, good to see you. That's Mary, Blessed to Crochet. Demon, good to see you. I'm glad that you're here. All right, so we'll knock the elephant in the room out here real quick. Today, somebody made a video talking a lot about me and a lot about the woman that I love. The reason that these people do that is for a couple of reasons. Number one, they want relevance. And number two, they got an agenda. They've been sitting on this stuff for a very long time. We talked about this when they did it a month ago. I'm not talking anybody's name, I promise you. Now, one of these content creators, I'm actually going to be doing a very large, believe it or not, show on. And I know I don't do stuff on content creators, but this one has got a past that I think you're going to be friggin' fascinated when you hear. It's not just a content creator, unfortunately. This is something different. And but, like a journalist, I'm going to reach out and say, hey, would you like to come on and talk about this? Or, if you do not want to do that, is there a statement you'd like to make? You see, I reached out and actually said, you know what? If you'd like to have me on, I'd be more than happy to talk to you about this. I'm going to invite you on when I talk about you, but I'd be more than happy. Yeah. You know what? Funny gig we do, isn't it? A person can say anything they want at any time. We don't usually platform that, but fuck me, I guess. Peace out. I'm actually trying to get through this before I get rolling. Sorry that I offended you. I didn't see you as I was first starting to do this thing, and more people were coming in. There's 209 people here. And kind of what I was hoping to get to is the drama today, because somebody's been trying to take me apart for 3 or 4 hours with made-up stories. Just want to get rid of it so I can get on to the regular stuff, because I could sit here and pull up receipts and I could tell you things about these people and I could do all of that stuff. And then they'll do it back, right? Go ahead and listen to the stories that they said today, because they're not the same stories they told a month ago, which means that at least one of those platforms, right, is lying. Even if one of them's telling the truth, one of those platforms has to be lying. You know? It's funny. They can say anything they want, and when people say I want to see the receipts, they quote Reddit. I didn't watch any of it, people. I never do. I never do. But if you wonder why I don't talk to people in the comment section anymore, if you wonder why I don't get into the comment section, if you wonder why I'm not looking, it's because the wrong 5 or 6 hellos or 2 hellos that you miss, and the next thing you know, this person's sitting on a panel saying that, you know what, you've been trying to get them into the sack for the better part of 6 months. It's just frustrating. And it's been going on forever, and it just keeps rearing its head. And every time they pick people off, and you know what, they're new people, it doesn't matter. But I lost somebody today that I've spent the last 1.5 years praying for every single day of my life. And with 0 receipts, people just walk away. and they walk away from their faith, they change everything. A person will come here and say, hey, I found God, I do this, I'm not doing this anymore, I'm not doing that anymore. Literally the next day, they decide that they hate me, and all of the things that they believed in went out the window because the relevance of being part of the new hate team is just so important. That's all I got to say about this, people. I'm not wasting another moment of my breath, because the thing that I'm really here to talk about, which I cannot believe that I got to talk about, but I actually do. We have the pundit game being played again in this Diddy thing. I don't know if you guys have seen the big dogs, right? The big people, the guys that get paid up in the terrestrial areas of news. But they got lawyers on all over the place that are predicting Sean Combs is going to walk. And it's absolutely fascinating. I understand that they hire these people because they're defense attorneys. And I understand that the idea is that they're supposed to be getting people going. I understand that they're supposed to be the voice of the other side. They're playing the devil's advocate, right? But they don't have any idea of actually what's going on within the case. And the things that they start to spout off sound absolutely ridiculous. You're going to hear this narrative try to change. You know what, a Rolling Stone? Those receipts you saw? Yeah, that's what they got. Those were receipts. Way to do some deep diving. Way to be a pro. Way to be a pro. My understanding is they showed a text message that said I was going to Mexico to get some duck pills. What do you think that autocorrect might have turned duck? See, I was calling them F pills. Yeah, I was buying Cialis because it works out to be about $4 a pill down there. I don't need to answer to any of you people. So do me a favor. You can go ahead and fuck off into the ether where I never have to see you again. And the ignorant ones can leave as well. The people that you're listening to shot videos saying, I'm getting paid to do this. There are people paying us. I called this in December. Before any of these jackasses started doing this, I said, you watch, first of the year. We start going hard onto the human T and you watch what's gonna happen. You watch what's gonna happen. So, Rolling Stone, I appreciate with all of the time and effort that you have spent in here, that it took you literally no less than a matter of moments. Moments. To throw me and everyone else aside. And I love that about people like you. Those really easily led. It's kind of sad. I ask people here to think, right? You don't. You showed up and watched somebody hold up a phone that said, Tom, he's going to Mexico to get duck pills. If you saw the rest of the conversation, he said, I'm kind of nervous, man. I haven't used my junk in so long, it's incredible. I said, I've been in prison. I was getting ready to go and have intercourse with the woman that I loved for the first time. Not that the effing world has any reason to know this. Imagine telling your best friend things and then having him go around and do this. And you want to hear the last thing? I'm going to comment about this forever because you're never going to hear this again, I swear to God. But I'll give you one. Because everyone has a lot of fun with it. You know, the last time they all got together, they talked about how I'm having sex with my aunt. It's kind of creepy, isn't it? This was something Alan Ballantyne told people, that I'm having sex with my aunt. Because Alan said to me, you know what? I've never had a male friend like you, ever. I said, yeah, you know what? I appreciate that, man. That's why I invited him to the United States to hang out and spend time with me. He'll tell you a different story about how that went down, but I told him what happened to me as a kid. You guys have heard me talk about it. I've just never told any names or any details or anything like that. But I confided in this dude, and I told him what happened to me. He makes it sound like this is something I'm doing when I'm in my 20s and having a good time. But let's just say I was prepubescent when that happened, and that was something that he was well aware of. But it doesn't take much to have people switch from one side to another. Shit, we watch it happen. Look, I'm not going to talk about what communities, but how many times have you seen people in the communities that I know you all are a part of say, this guy's a scumbag, I'm never talking to him again. 2 days later, I hate him. He's the worst. I love him now. No, we're good. We're getting back together. We're going to make a video. And this crap happens constantly. I don't play those friggin' games. I'm not saying anything about Alan today. I'm not gonna. I don't think you could possibly imagine the things that he told me in confidence. And I could come out here and do this shit and we'll get all kinds of views. I'll sling all kinds of mud. You know, I could tell you the things that he didn't want anyone in the world knowing. Doesn't really help with my speeches about moving toward love, though, does it? Sean Combs' mom. You guys are familiar with Sean Combs' mom. That would be Janice Combs. Oddly enough, her name used to be Janice Smalls. Do you find that weird? Honestly, I didn't know this until just recently. This was a Tissa Tells that pulled up the article, and then I went and started reading it. But she used to be Janice Smalls, which is kind of odd. But you've heard people, and we've talked about it on a bunch of my live feeds, where people said, you want to follow the receipts, fool? You know who I'm talking about. You want receipts? Go check his mom. That's where the receipts are, man. That's where the receipts are. Go check with his mom. Pretty funny, right? Now his mom very well may end up getting sucked into this thing, right? Shimmy Doomy Wobby. Diddy is Biggie's cousin, confirmed. You know what? Kathy, right. You're absolutely right. And you know, one of the other things allegedly is that I groom all the women in the boat. You know, if you and I have spent any time on the phone together, you're a lady, and we've spent time talking on the telephone, why don't you go ahead and tell people here? I don't talk to women. Sorry, I don't. I'll correspond with texts, do whatever. See, very early on in this game, these people got a bunch of females to take a shot at me that time and said, hey, there's videos out here of Tommy doing this, this, and this. And my response was, post them. You got my permission. You got videos of me? Put them up. Put them up. Wow. Hillary, really? This is who you are? This is who you... Good God. Wow. Do you fantasize about having sex with Hux's girlfriend? You are a sick human being. Good God in heaven. How does something like that even get into someone's mind? I'll be honest with you. Didn't know he had one. Never met the woman. But you're a sick human being. This is what we're working with, people. You see this? This is the brain pool. Honestly, I said to the trolls, I may pop a couple of these up, man. I may pop a couple of these up. Are these our people? You know what's insane? One of them was a day ago. Now they're this hateful a human being. They saw a 4-minute video, right? They got it all figured out. 4-minute video. I know who you are, dog. I saw receipts. Let's get back to this Diddy thing, people. So apparently Diddy's mom everything is in her name. And they've joked about this. People have been talking about this. But this is kind of out of control, man. Because how did Janice Combs get her name on all of this stuff? You assume Diddy just said, well, it might be a better idea to just have everything in my mom's name. Might be a lot safer, right? Or maybe he went over there with an attorney of his, right? Cat by the name of Kenneth Mastasis, I think is how they say it, or Mastisis. He and his attorney go over there and threaten Kurt Burrows with a baseball bat. Allegedly, this dude signed off on his half of what he owned in Bad Boy because they were standing there with a baseball bat ready to take him out. Smash him in his skull with a baseball bat. Right? Wow, that's how you get somebody to sign a contract. Now, people will say, how come Kurt Burrows didn't come forward a long time ago, man? Right? How come he didn't come forward a long time ago? And one of the people on the panel that was talking about this on one of those bigger shows, you know, the guy that had Jaguar right on and then immediately came back and apologized to Jay-Z and the crew for what Jaguar had said on there. On a show called Uncensored, he went and censored himself. Remember? Well, the pundits on there are all weighing in that all of this is BS, man. Every bit of this. And they're also saying that these kind of people, they're not killing anybody. Sean Combs isn't some guy that can order a hit. He's a friggin' music exec. This isn't some killer. This is what happens when social media gets a hold of a story and goes running with it, right? When they really start running with the story, this is what happens, man, right? Frightening. Frightening. Because if this is what the world is starting to believe, if the circus that is happening on YouTube and on TikTok and on every other platform, and I've talked about this, man. I've said this a bunch of times. I get nervous when you see headlines that say things like, Diddy's riding a motorcycle up and down the halls of the jail. Now, obviously, this is just stupid and it's somebody making a meme. But the people that believe Diddy's not in there, what they do now is any of us who are out trying to do a little bit of internet sleuthing, anybody that's out trying to take even a little bit of initiative to go, hey, maybe we look like every other person wearing a tinfoil hat and talking about some of the outlandish stories that we've heard. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. And if the start of this show proves anything, you can get together and say, hey, you know what? Let's see. Woofy. I got video of Woofy eating children. Barbecue style. Knife, fork. Seriously. With 4 of his friends. I got it. Not actually going to show it to you. See, I'm so afraid of him that if I were to pull this stuff out, I'd probably get whacked. But I got it. Trust and believe I got it. It doesn't take much. And what you find is it's impossible to do a damn thing about. Call an attorney, chase it down. Even these rich people, chase the person down. Then you got to say, here's how I was damaged, Your Honor. And the judge says, hey, not for nothing. 600,000 articles have been written about you since this started. You're going to go after this guy for 10,000 people that saw one of his videos? But this circus is making pundits. This circus is making some really famous attorneys say stuff like, I think the dude's going to walk. I think he's going to walk. But they also continue to act as if it's 1987, man. Right? And they say things about things that make no sense. There's way too much that they don't understand things like, because one of the arguments now, Mark Garagos was on there saying, hey, look, all of the victims in this, all of the alleged victims in this are all ex-girlfriends. So what if the ex-girlfriends are being abused? What if the ex-girlfriends are getting the crap beat out of them? We saw what happened to Cassie Ventura. If you believe the prosecution, and I will happen to until they prove me otherwise, she was leaving a freak off. How can you say these are girlfriends? What you mean is Diddy gets a girl, calls her a girlfriend, enslaves her, takes her wherever, and I'm not claiming this. Don't come suing me, Diddy. This is what everybody else is claiming. It's even what the government's claiming. That everything you did, your whole business was set up just to make things like this happen. Thank you, Kimmy. I appreciate the support. Angie Mo, you're awesome. You really are, and I appreciate it. Thank you. We are better than that. We trust and believe in you. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. They've already admitted they're paying people to do it. Hey, look, man, if they reach out to you, get paid. Because I'll be really honest, they're not doing a lot of damage. This one hurt just because he's such a turncoat. You know, that one hurt. Thank you so much for the support, man. I really appreciate that. And Johnny, I'm sorry you got sucker punched by somebody you thought was your brother. Yeah, that's kind of how that went down, didn't it? I mean, honestly, in fact, check this out. Looks bad, doesn't it? You see it? Left a little bit of a welt. Oh, I'm sorry, I was on the wrong side. Look at that. Virtual sucker punch. How bad is that? Been one of those days, people. Thank you, Tommy Bird. I love you, my brother. I really appreciate you, and I appreciate you, Woofy. You know what's really funny? Every person you guys watched on that panel tearing me apart, sent me an email saying the same thing. You saved my life, right? The guy that became a turncoat, the last thing that he sent me in a text message said, dude, nothing's going to break up our friendship. I love you more than anything. The next time I talked to him, I was a thief. And all of this other stuff. He makes this stuff up. It's all good, man. We move on. We're better than that. I know you do, Pamela, and I really appreciate it, man. I really, really do. Thank you, Puka Vista. We can put that to bed. We really can. There's no reason to even spend any more time on it. This becomes fascinating, folks, because there's got to be a chance that Diddy's mom is going to get lugged into this, right? Honestly, there's a RICO case with no one else in it. Everybody keeps saying that. What the hell happens if the other person in the RICO case is mom? What happens if the other person in the RICO case is his mother and she's hiding all of this stuff? Thank you, Diane. I appreciate you. Air Supply, you're the best. Thank you for the support, the consistent support. I really appreciate you, man. I really do. Thanks. I love this boat too. And I'll tell you something, man. We've done a really good job of not talking about content creators. And I've said from the beginning, the only time that's ever going to change is if the content creator happens to have a story that has something to do with other than being a content creator, right? It is a thin line between love and hate, especially when people, are vying for attention in a chat that's going up at, when I have a good chat rate going here, it's going to be 2,200 comments over the course of the 1 hour show. I'm brain dead. I'm looking at two computers because I can't use a mouse, and I can't follow the process. It's one of the reasons that I'm doing a lot less live stuff and a lot more recorded stuff. Cooter by the Lake, thank you so much. Love to Tommy and Reese. And you know what? I didn't watch it. I never will. And I pray that Reese didn't either. It's I just hope that everyone is as kind to her as they are to me, because the really funny thing is, this isn't about her. It's insane. All the hate and everything else. This was all drummed up by people that have been trying to take me out for 4 years, and the only reason they're doing this is because they know that this bums out me. Because I love her. Thank you, Casper. I appreciate you. Really do. Cooter by the Lake says, hey, thank you. I really appreciate that. The good news is this. It's really an obvious thing when people pop up out of the woodwork and go, hey, I got stuff that you sent me 2 years ago. I know we haven't talked to each other in a full year, but I've decided that now is the time that we're going to take a run at you. Bo Bates, love you. I'm glad that you're here. I really am. Wow, 14 months. I really appreciate that. It's by the way, that big lump over my eye is not from a fight. Before anybody starts to go out there and run with that one, I'm having some issues with balance, and but not too bad. I do look like, I kind of look like maybe I was maybe I said the wrong thing to the wrong person, man. You know what? It's funny that it's funny people are talking about shirts. I actually had the greatest idea for a shirt. It is, I'm not joking, you people, you're going to blow an O-ring when you see it. It's just one of the coolest shirts ever. I'm trademarking this bad boy before I do it. Plain and simple. I'm going to be trademarking it because that kind of has to happen. But it's one of the coolest ideas I ever came up with. Thank you, Jimmy Zim Zam. QTM, I got to circle back to the LDS. I found that fascinating. I absolutely am. In fact, the first show should be coming up here fairly shortly. Let's get real. I was chasing Reese way before you came into the scene, so there's that. Well, I understand. There's a lot of You're not the only one. Reese is a none of you, and I'm not saying this in a disrespectful way, but none of you have any idea just how remarkable a person that she is. Reese is funny, and we get funny when we're doing stuff and we're live. It's supposed to be funny, and sometimes the really sweet gets lost because we're trying to keep people laughing for 2 hours. But I wish you could see her at her best, because I have. Thank you, Lisa Trimble. I really do appreciate that. That's huge, and I appreciate it. I am not using stilts or a ladder, Holmes. I am done. If I have to get off of the ground to do anything, I'm checking out. It's that simple. I will call in professionals because I am just not good at it. Thank you, Mary. Mary says, love to the lifeboat, Reese and family. Thank you so much. I think that Reese may be asleep already, which is a shame. I wish she was seeing the support. Thank you, Chester's mom. I'll be really honest. One of the reasons that I never platform the people that talk crap is because it's absolutely all they're hoping for. These aren't people that can create content. And this is really, really an odd thing. But to sit down in front of somebody, pick up a microphone and just start talking. Now, even if you have a subject matter and you got a series of notes that you're going to work from, and you're hitting those notes and you're doing your high points and all of that, to maintain the same number of people through a 2-hour case is damn near incredible, right? It's a very difficult thing to do. And some people do it and some people don't. Reese is incredible at it. And Reese can do it for 3 hours and keep 500 people there. And the funny thing is, I can too if I got something cool to talk about. Like the Soto thing was, thank you again for your support, and I love the new members. You guys look great in green. I did a deep dive on the Soto case after watching that video. What a crazy, sad story. It really is. Now, if I come in with something like that, it's super easy to keep people engaged because we got something to talk about. It's kind of important. My partner, Reese, my girl, can do this talking about literally anything, and they hate her for it. Sad but true, they hate it for it. You're never going to find a troll that isn't a failed YouTuber. Tommy, I really like when you put up questions and comments. Don't give them their power. Well, here's the thing. If it's worth talking about, if it's just the hateful crap or whatever, the reason that I put up the first one is because I would like people to see how fast somebody that has been with you for 3 years can do an about face, literally, on a video where somebody holds up stuff like this from a phone. It's the silliest crap in the world, man. Silliest crap in the world. They will not realize how bad they are. But you know what's funny? If you just wanted to be a jerk, all you'd have to do is say, okay, one of you better be right. Prove what I was coming across the border with. Because one show platformed somebody who for a really long time said I was bringing the Date R drug across the border to assault women with it. Now I'm bringing stuff across the border because I'm too old to to work it up, without a little help. Those are two really different stories. And you know what? You say that someone's bringing in the DRD substances? Boy, that's a great way to get sued. It really is. That's the problem is, how do I prove that they did any damages? They can say whatever the hell they want. And that's what you got to know. That's why it's always important to do the journalist thing and say, we reached out to the person for comment. We invited them on the show. They declined. You ever notice that the big shows do that? That's kind of how that works. But I want to make you a promise here back on the Diddy verse. If you are a defense attorney, you look at the world through a different set of glasses than anyone else does. If you're a defense attorney, when you start to see the stuff laid out, you're not looking at it's like a mechanic, right? You open up the hood of a car and the thing is making noise or whatever, or this or that. And you look down and you're like, I have no clue. And the mechanic's like, oh yeah, the coniferous pin, right? And the foo-foo valve's blown, and instantly this person knows exactly what he's hearing, what he's looking at, right? It's like anything else. You become, I don't know what the word is. You become good. You become ingrained. Zombie bonbons. Brandon, congratulations. And Gary Mackey, thank you for turning 5 people green. That's always a beautiful thing. There's zero chance that they're looking at this case objectively. In all honesty, they can't. Right? They can't. because they're being brought on the panel to be the foil for somebody like me. Someone who goes, how the hell can you not see this for exactly what it is? They got to have a defense attorney there. But because of that, you're hearing all of these defense attorneys that want to say, it's going to be, I promise you, this is going to end up getting thrown out. And it gives people a real great thumbnail. 2 days, my brother. The journey starts with 1, right? You're already 2 in. Proud of you, brother. I really am. Proud of ya. You do know that if you get knocked down 55 times, but you get up 56, you're a friggin' hero. Just like if you got knocked down once and got up, doesn't matter how many, just got to get up, right? One more time, then you're knocked down. Kathy Kinetic, Dr. K, member, 2 months. Stand with truth. That is Tommy, authentic and committed to working with all of us to move toward love. Here's the really funny thing, man. Like the filthy crap I've done in my past ain't bad enough. Honest to God, you got to go out and create crap? Like I got a pretty gnarly criminal record. I don't need any help. God, it's absolutely amazing. Do what diddy dum diddy dee, says Robert D. Numbo. And I would like to thank everybody's indulgence for what Spanx has been doing. I know that a lot of people will say, man, all they're doing, these are like reruns. You're recycling stuff. What I'm trying to do is give an opportunity for people to come together and get a little connection. If Calhoun takes a 2-hour greatest hits things, I've said this a million times. If I'm not talking about something that happened today, if it's not a breaking story, I could be going, wah, 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 because a lot of it is just interaction between people in the chat. And it gives people that connection. It's one of the things that makes the boat kind of fly. And you know, the show that we did just the other day on the Sackler family, I'm as proud of that show as anyone I ever did. And 300 people saw it. For real. Before that was cut by Calhoun, trimmed up and re-released. Now, 5 times that many people have seen it. And that's a big deal. It really is, because that family sucks. And there's a lot of other stuff that we've done out there that I'm pretty proud of, but no one's seen it. That's what happens when you put up, 2,900 videos. In the early days, you're doing it for 3 or 4 people. It's a little bit different, but I really like the idea, and I appreciate your patience as we start to go through it, because as I get burnt, or as it gets harder for me to be able to do this, it's I love the re-releases. It puts really good content out that came out when the Lifeboat had far fewer subs back out into the algorithm. See, I agree with you. I think it's important stuff. We're talking about these aren't gratuitous shows. Honestly, these are shows with pretty important subject matter. Like the one on Nightazines. It's like a 3.5-year-old show now or something. And at the time, I'm not joking. Literally, everybody that was like, "What the hell is that?" No one knew what we were talking about. It was, it almost sounded crazy because there was only a couple of places. That had even heard of it. Now every city in the United States has had a bust. Why, thank you, Fancy Face. It has been that long. Isn't that crazy, Tommy Bird? I would love to be able to do 2.5-hour shows. To be really honest with you, folks, my focus doesn't hang as long as it used to, and I struggle a little bit. But we're going to do some things that are going to hopefully give us an opportunity to reimagine this in such a way that we can continue to bring everybody together, and that I can come on here and do some live stuff so that I can still stay engaged, and without getting to the point where I'm not where I don't sound like I'm firing on all cylinders, or you may not watch a lot, but to me, I thank you again, Krista Melinda. To me, it gets to if you feel like you're slipping, it's a bummer. And if you feel like the product is starting to suck, and I know that there's a lot of times that you probably notice, and you're just kind people, but there's a lot of times that I go, whew, and it's gone, and you'll see me like groping and doing the public speaking 2-step. where you go, yeah, because in the long of it and at the end of the day, with all things considered, while your brain's trying to figure out the hell you were talking about, the more it happens, the more you just feel like maybe you're not doing this as well anymore. And working from notes is not something that I've done, but it probably needs to be looked at. So we're taking a look at it, man. We'll have to look. It's going to say the greatest. It's going to say the Tommy's greatest hits kind of thing. But we run them as an instant premiere, which means that if you get there, everybody can talk in the chat the same way they would as if it was seeing it the first time. And that was really the goal more than anything, was to give people an opportunity to get together and talk and maybe catch some of the older stuff. You know what I'm saying? Well, thank you, Incarnate Soul. Sorry. All right, people. I am going to go and play with that cat and relax for the rest of the evening. But in light of, I wasn't actually. Spanx Calhoun had some stuff ready to go, but in light of the day that everybody decided to make, I thought maybe it'd be a good idea to come on and say hi to everybody here and let you guys know. Let you guys know that I'm still standing. Maybe not as often, but I'm standing. All right. Between now and the next time we see each other, reach out and try to save somebody. And thank you all so much for the support. I don't think you have any idea how much it means to me. And I'm not just saying that. I don't think you have any idea how much that means to me. Thanks, and we'll see you on the next one. God bless.